welcome to another episode of Voice Thoughts Talk Show and Podcast with your host, Danette Mahabeer. And today's topic is Stop Bullying. And our guest for today is none other than Soheila London. Soheila, it's a great pleasure having you on my show.
Thank you. I am really happy to be here with you, Miss Danette.
Oh, thank you so much. I am happy to have you because I want to share your story and this topic with the world. Bullying is not new to our society. It's been going on for a while, and I myself, in my adult years, can remember being bullied. I was a victim to bully, and I thought maybe if I just avoid it, ignore it, that it would just stop. But it took me a minute to realize that I have to stand up and say no to bullying and stop bullying, for that to desist. Otherwise, I think it would just give the bully more power to continue being a bully. So let me ask you something. There's an incident that recently occurred that included you, and you were the victim, and you experienced bullying. Tell us what happened from start to finish.
So, I went to school, and then there's this boy that goes on the bus in front of me, and I sit by Deshay. She is not my best friend, but she's Maya's best friend, which is my best friend. And I was on the bus. And when I was on the bus, there's this boy that sits in front of me, and he looked behind me because I was swinging my water bottle like this, and then I was like this, and then splashed on him. I said sorry, but he didn't forgive me, and it was a plastic water bottle.
Okay.
And he threw it away. And then the bus monitor threw it away, and it had nothing to drink but a cup of water.
But what did the person do to you while you labeled it as being bullied? What did that person do?
He splashed water on my shoe, and he splashed it on my shoe.
So he got angry. He probably grabbed it from you, splashed it on you, and it made you feel, and then that was an older child as well. So
I think he's in 4th grade or something, I don't know.
wow. Okay, well guys, we're highlighting this segment today for multiple reasons. Bullying is something that is happening in schools, in communities, it's happening in workplaces, it's happening in like so many different places across the nation and globally.
You are right.
It's not okay. Bullying is not okay. Now, why do you think people bully? Why do you think they're bullies?
I think they're bullies because bullies are bullies because they usually, if I was a bully, then I would realize to do the right thing. My mom said that to me, but my mom says to stay away from bad people and mean people. But I think bullies are bullies because they get bullied. Like that happened to someone in a class when they were out of school, and now they became a bad boy. And that's why I think bullies are bullies, because if I was a bully, I would get bullied, and then I would become a bad girl, which is I'm not going to become a bad girl. I tried standing up to myself to the boy, but I think he's in 1st grade or like 8th grade already. But I am so happy to be here with you all because you guys know that I am always excited to be with y'all.
All right, she's excited. Thank you for sharing that, Soheila. So basically what I'm getting is, oftentimes bullies have an underlying issue where they were victims to bully. Or the lack of love and affection from parents or family members or just the people, the loved ones around them. And what that causes is it causes all those inner anger to add up, and now the person who was bullied then becomes the bully. Now, there are tons of resources online, ways that you can stop, a person from, being a bully. Of course, one of them that Soheila mentioned was standing up for yourself. Stand up to bullies, no to bully, and not allow them to continue being, being a bully or being victim to their act.
So, like, I was thinking, like, bullies are bullies, but if you were a bully, guys, you would totally hate our channel. Some people have this kind of way where I do YouTube channels, and so I have a lot of subscribers, but some people do this way where you are a kid, you watch something on YouTube, which is your, like your favorite show, and someone puts up on that page that they don't like it. That's not really nice. That feels like you're getting bullied.
Guys, it's not okay to be a bully, and if you are a bystander, it's still not okay for you to be a bystander and watch someone else, even if it's not your child or your friend or your loved one, to watch someone else get bullied. So let's start, playing our parts in society to standing up to that. And so what I'm going to share with you right now are the steps that I took. So I picked Soheila up from school, and she immediately said, "Mom, I was bullied today." And so I started to inquire and ask what happened. And so she started to tell me what the incident that happened on the bus. She told me from start to finish. I also questioned her to say, it's not okay either way if she did something to provoke that child. That child has the right to report that incident, to the bus monitor or whoever is in charge of those kids, instead of actually reacting the way they did. And so even if my child was the one being provoked, I've taught her to not retaliate, but to take the proper steps to report it to whoever is in charge, right? So I asked her a couple questions like, did you do anything to this child? Did you say something? Did you, and she said no. And I explained to her that even if you did, it's not okay that they would do what they did to you by grabbing your water bottle and then splashing it all over you. And so, I don't take bullying lightly. Again, having been a victim to bully is not something that I take lightly. And it's not something I like seeing, and it's not something that I would be a bystander to in our society. And so I immediately, in the presence of my daughter, I called her front desk at her school and I notified them of the situation, and they said to me, well, the bus monitor normally would report an incident. So I'm not sure if I called too early before the bus monitor was able to report that incident. But in addition, that person that I spoke with made a report. In addition to calling the school, I immediately sent an email to the principal, the assistant principal. I attached my daughter's class teacher on there, and I attached the front desk person that I spoke with, or the front desk main email, and I let them know like, hey, my daughter told me about this situation, and it's not okay, and I take stuff like this very seriously, and I express everything to them, that I'm intolerant to bully and that it cannot happen again, and that they need to investigate immediately. They immediately responded back to me, apologized that they were going to investigate. They called me on top of that, told me the steps that they're going to take. They're going to have someone talk to my daughter, talk with the person that's involved with the bullying situation, talk with the bus monitor, talk with the bus driver. And so they did their investigation, and then like the next day they followed up with me. They called me, and then they sent a follow-up email. Now, they also tell me the steps that they've implemented to make sure that this does not happen again. It is against your school policies and procedures for that to even continue or happen, but it was more of a misunderstanding where, the kid got frustrated because the water was splashing on them, and, I guess instead of, reporting it to the bus monitor, the person took the bottle and out of frustration grabbed it from her, which again unintentionally splashed on her. Now, taking up that step is what I would want to encourage other parents to do. Build that relationship with your child or your children, that they feel comfortable coming to you and telling you about incidents like this, knowing that they can confidently come to you with these situations and know that you are going to stand up on their behalf, that you're going to advocate for them, and they're not going to be blamed for someone else being a bully to them, but knowing that the proper steps and procedures will be taken to end that bullying. So we're here to just share that story and just share some thoughts with you guys on this. And so,
like she said, bullying is not nice or kind. Bullying, that is what bullying is. Like,
it is.
Bullying is not a good thing.
It's not okay.
Because if you get bullied, all you have to do is, number one thing, tell your mom when you get somewhere. Number two, make sure your mom communicates. Number three, tell your mom the incident. Number four, make sure she texts all of the people in school. Fourth, talk about it. Then the big boy will talk about it with the teacher.
Right. Thank you so much for sharing. So has some very good points. We call her So for short. So thank you again, Soheila, for being on this show.
If you lost something and someone cook it or like something like that, make sure you communicate with your mom. Isn't that right, Danette?
Right. Okay. So as we wrap up, guys, thank you again, Soheila, for being on this show. Remember, stop bullying, and there is websites to help you to navigate through if you are a victim to bullying. And again, report it to the necessary authorities. Follow policies and procedures within different organizations. Thank you guys so much for listening to this podcast, and we look forward to having you on the next podcast episode. Once again, I'm your host. My name is Danette.